Hey guys, it's ANicWin, also known as Amy, and happy Sunday. I hope you're having a lovely day. By the time that you're watching this, I will actually be on vacation. I will probably have an adult beverage in hand, hanging out on a beach with my lovely little family. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And that actually brings us to the title. It is a North Carolina inspired family home. So this is the architectural style, I believe, is British Georgian. If I got that wrong, it will be in the description below, but I believe that's what it's called. And I chose North Carolina because one, that's where I am right now, although not really, but will be by the time you're watching this. And also because my best friend, I gave her a list. Actually, I think I told her, I'm like, I'm going to do another state build. Help me pick the state. And I told her the South. And she chose, I think I think she gave me three, if I'm remembering correctly, and North Carolina was one of them. And I'm like, it's fate. I'm doing that. So here we are. Now, as you can see, I did put stairs that are cut into the terrain. I had never done that before. I did have to use a tutorial to learn how to use the terrain manipulation tools because I just don't use them. It's one of those things that I just like, I'm so lost. I wasn't really comfortable. I got there though. It's a lot easier than you think it's going to be. So I did that because I did use a reference image, and typically when I say I use a reference image, usually it's like 3 or 4 images that are similar but have different styles, and I will kind of piecemeal different design elements from each image into one. So if you were to look at them, you'd be like, this is not at all what you've built. And I'm like, yeah, but if you look at that one room or that one corner of this piece, I used that, but I used it in this way. That's just kind of how I like to do it. I don't really like to copy a reference image exactly because there's usually pieces of it that they don't transfer well to The Sims. And that's really the only reason. And so if I'm like, if I can't make it exactly the way that this is, then I'm just not going to set out to do that. However, in this case, because it's just 2 really long rectangles with 2 squares, it's a very symmetrical house. I was like, I can do this in The Sims. This will be fairly easy. I won't need to go off script, quote unquote. The only thing I was uncomfortable with is the amount of windows on the front. I don't think that looks very realistic. It obviously is, because every time you look at this style of house, that's all it is. It's just windows. I was very uncomfortable with the energy I had created in the studio. And I had to resist the urge to delete things. Like I really almost deleted a few, but I didn't. I kept them and it's fine. And I'm thrilled and I'm glad I did. And honestly, guys, I'm so proud. I'm so proud of this build. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did. I was blown away, and I don't want to brag on myself or anything like that, but I came to the end and I was like, what just happened to me? How did I do this? And I can't even describe the feeling. It's just crazy. It's crazy. It really is. So yeah, I'm sitting here still blown away. I'm speechless is what I am. But so I'm doing the landscaping. I do use tulle pretty heavily for this, just because when you raise the terrain, the plants don't naturally sink into the ground like they should. They either disappear, kind of like what you're seeing, making you have to multi-layer, or they just float several spaces above the ground, which is slightly annoying. But I do use the tool mod. You're gonna see the lighting shift quite a few times as I go in and out of live mode. That is to access the tool mod. I know they have one that's for build mode, and I haven't downloaded it, and I'm probably not going to. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm a little bit lazy, and I know how to use this version of it, so unless this version breaks, I'm not going to learn the other version, because I don't think it's that inconvenient to pop out, grab a sim, and pop back into a lot. So I'm going to show you a little bit of me using the tool mod right around here. I use it across the entire landscaping, across the entire lot. So I don't show all of that just because it did get a little bit repetitive, and the video would have been like 45 minutes to an hour long. So for you to just watch me do this. I don't I don't know if that's something that's like riveting entertainment, so I didn't keep it in. But basically, so I have these little patches on the hillside with these, I think they're oopsie daisies, I think. They're little wildflowers. I layer them with grass. I don't know if I show that in the video, but I layer them with grass, and I do throw some rocks in there just for the bald spots. And of course, I layer terrain paint. I always layer terrain paint. It's never just one layer either. There's like 5 different colors going on in there, guys, because I'm obsessed. I also use the tool mod to sink in these bushes. I hate the bottoms of them. I think it looks tacky. They look like stick figure feet, and you can tell me I'm wrong, and that's perfectly fine because my vision's not the best anyway. But I don't know, they put all this detail into the leaves, and then they have these weird little stick feet. I hate it. I don't like it. So I used it there as well. I'm not lining the entire build, or outlining the entire build with landscaping around the building like that, but I am covering up bits of the foundation where I didn't want to raise the hillside anymore. But I also didn't want the actual foundation of the building to show. As you can see, I did use the fountain tool to make a little pond. It's not accessible, you can't fish in it, it's just for aesthetics. I do this little gravel pathway over most of the lot. I don't think it connects. I don't think I connected it in the back because there was no way to make it work naturally. Yeah, looking back, I don't think I do. And I just add some trees. I wanted this to look not overgrown, but I did definitely want it to look like maybe the family that lives here respects nature. They understand, like, you know, these flowers grow here, this tree was here first, that type of style. So it's not meant to look overgrown. It might look like that a little bit, but really that was just to add depth. Otherwise, the grass is so flat. Like I said, I'm thrilled. I'm so thrilled with how it turned out. It's very peaceful. When I was going in to take the screenshots, I think it took me like 45 minutes, and most of that was me just staring, which is ridiculous. But because you're in tab mode, so you're kind of like, it's like being in first person, and I'm walking around and I'm like, wow, this is peaceful. Like I almost want to sit here and just like listen to the birds and just be one with nature, which is so unlike me because I'm not a nature person. I don't really like to be outside. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not an outside person. I'm definitely a homebody. I am building a little play area for the kids because this is a family home, right? So I wanted them to have something outside, but I didn't want the entire backyard to be overly domestic, if that makes sense. I didn't want to use any fencing either. I didn't think it fit well within this world. So I don't know if I accomplished what I set out to do, but what I do know is I do like the way that it turned out. So this is just like their little sand pit. This is the only part of the yard that looks like it's been cultivated, I guess is the word I'm going to go for. And I do quite like it because even though it is very obviously a commercial thing, it is not an eyesore. It's hard to accomplish in The Sims because they use really bright colors that I just don't vibe with, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. Everyone's got a personal style. But yeah, so now we're moving on to the furnishings. That fountain right there should give you an idea of about when I furnished this little place, because that came with the Moroccan courtyard kit, and that's actually, I don't think, the name of the kit. I can't recall off the top of my head what the name of it is. But the day that we got that was the day I furnished this home, so that gives you an idea of how far ahead I was. I did a little outdoor dining space right off of that little fountain courtyard, and then we have the formal dining space here. I did use a lot of red tones with this brown. I thought it just looked really, really good with that gray on the walls. It was a very, I don't want to say soothing, but it was a nice, comfortable color palette, if I do say so myself. And then I do use these lights all throughout the build, except for in the bathrooms, because why? I didn't like any of the runners in the game, so I made one with a piece of carpet and some low-lying fence. It looks a little odd, I think, looking back, but at the time I was like, yeah, I like this. And I think I still like it. I don't regret the choice, but if you're wondering why why I made that decision, that's why. Some of the runners are either too long, too short, too wide, or they don't size down appropriately, so I fixed it. I created a solution to my own problem. And I'm just decorating this little hallway. This space was so big, I had to figure out a way to break things up. Otherwise, I was going to have massive rooms, and I didn't want that. And then, of course, I do the entryway. I know I probably should have started with the entryway, but I did not. Do the same thing with the runner trick. I had two little benches or couches for you to sit on. I don't really know why I added two. I didn't think a hall tree was going to look great in here, so I don't know. It's just a very generic entryway. The entryway did not spark joy, I'm not going to lie to you, but I think it looks nice. So we move on into the kitchen. I did pair the Parenthood cabinets and counters with the Country Kitchen Kit upper cabinets only, and I think I used 3 pieces. So the one on the far, they're all on the left. It's the very far piece on the left, the little dishes piece above the sink, and the one right next to the coffee pot, or right above the coffee pot rather, and then I use the stove. And some of the clutter. Listen, that kit is just divine, okay? The kit does spark joy. What the entryway took in joy, the kitchen kit made up for. So I love adding the shelf above the stove, because the stove looks like it has a shelf and you can't use it as one, so I just add one, and it comes in the same color swatches, so it looks, I think, pretty natural. I just add a few more elements here to the back to kind of show this is a little family space, and I give them a little eat at island counter breakfast area. I only include 2, I don't include 3 because it is such a small space, but one of the kids in this home is a toddler and wouldn't be able to sit there anyway. And then move on to the office. Now, I have no backstory. I have no backstory for this home. I was thinking maybe mom or dad worked from home, or maybe they just needed an office. I don't know. Maybe they have a hobby. I don't know. But I am thinking this is a 5-person household. Although technically you could fit 6, so you could fit a 4th child if you wanted to, because I do give one of them bunk beds. So I'm thinking it was a teenage girl, a child that is a female, and then a toddler that is a male, along with a mom or dad, or it could be a mom and a mom, or dad and a dad. It really doesn't matter. It could be whoever you want it to be, but I did the kids' genders. I did specify in the decorations, just because the rooms are somewhat themed. They're not like overly grossly themed, but they are themed to a degree. You'll see when we get there. The living room, I am cluttering up just a little bit. I'm doing my favorite trick here with layering the plants. I think it looks really, really nice and full, and I don't know, I like to imagine that those are just fake branches that someone's plucked down into a vase or a pot or whatever it is, that they're wanting to add the flowers to. I did add some kids clutter because I don't think the kids run the home, but it's definitely like you're not questioning it when you walk through the door. Like, these people have kids, and they're a proud family unit, and they're showing it off, and I love that. I think that's really sweet that you see kid items around, because yeah, it's probably tempting to have like the perfect home, but I think it's more important to make sure everyone's comfortable than to make sure everything looks picturesque. That's just me. I'm not judging anyone that does that. That's just my priority. And then I jump into the laundry room here. I did give them 2 washers and 2 dryers. I imagine with the house this size and with that many kids, it's probably more efficient to have a couple of machines over just one. You can do multiple loads of laundry at one time. I kind of wish I had that, and it's only 2 of us here, so that speaks for itself. I think I clutter it up just a little bit. I think this is a nice relaxing space to do laundry in. It's not anyone's favorite chore to do, but if you have to do it, at least it could be pleasant. And then we jump up into the hallway. As you can see, the landing. As you can see, I did do the bathrooms off camera. Again, I had to conserve some time because this video was going to be so long, but I wanted to leave the hallways and the entry or the landing area up here in the build, just because I did clutter them so much. I thought it would be nice to see that for a change rather than cutting that out, because they were such big spaces. Typically my hallways are so small that if it's a bigger build, it's not really even worth showing you the footage, because it'll be like 2 things. Not the case here, as you can see. I do the trick again with using the bit of carpet with the low-lying fencing. That was more for consistency. Up here I could have easily placed a rug and it would have been fine, but I wanted it to kind of be consistent throughout the build. I do strive for that to some degree. I don't go for matchy, but I do like for you to be able to tell that it goes with the house. So after I give everybody motion sickness, we jump to this back patio. It's not anything special, and then we jump right into the master bedroom. Now this is a small master, and I will agree with that statement all day every day. It is, but it's the only one that has the attached bathroom, so it had to be the master. This was going to be a Jack and Jill style bedroom, but just the way the floor planning came out, it just is what it is. But they do also have their own secluded balcony there to the left. I do lock that door when I place this in my save, because it is going in my save. I lock that door so only the parents can access this room. So their bathroom is totally private. Their balcony is totally private. It's definitely an oasis for the adults. And I think even though it's a simple bedroom, it came together really nicely, and I think it looks very relaxing and cozy. I give them a couple of planters out here with the bird feeder. They have some chairs they can lounge in, you know, when it's nice outside if they want to kind of keep an eye on the kids, and a chess table. And then we jump into the kids' rooms. Now there are 3 kids' rooms. This is for the adult, no, not the adult, the female child sim. I did give her 2 bunk beds. I imagine she's probably got like a best friend that's also a little science nerd, and they stay over all the time. I haven't made this family, but I like the idea of 2 kind of giggly little STEM kids, you know? I don't know. I think that's sweet. I think it's sweet that they're, you know, that you could have 2 like little best friends out there just like waiting for the blood moon or something, you know? I think that's cute. So I decorated her room kind of in a space theme. That bedding definitely inspired that. And I just think it's sweet. And I went with the purple walls because I think she's also kind of in that preteen stage where she's kind of coming into being more girly, trying to tap into that at least. And so she's kind of experimenting with her style a little bit. Then we jump into the toddler sim room. Now, aging is weird in The Sims. So I'm not imagining this is like a baby. This is more like probably a 3 or 4 year old, which is technically not a toddler. So he's a little bit older. Like he can definitely talk and make demands and things like that. He makes his wants and likes and dislikes known. And obviously he is into boyish things. I mean, he's into that transformer looking thing that I placed on the bed. There's another one in the room that you'll see. He likes the trains. He's into Star Wars. He's all boy. I think he's into the fantasy superhero. Like he's just stereotypical young boy. And I had a blast making this room. Now you're probably wondering why he's got a platform and the others don't. If you notice at the beginning, I used a medium wall height door and I'm not building with the medium wall heights. So I had to raise a bit of his room to cover the door because it poked through and it just looked weird. And I thought it was perfect for a toddler room because now he's got a little play place and I am thrilled. And then this is the teenage room. This is my favorite room in the entire build. And this is actually where I'm going to leave you guys because we're going to come up on the screenshots. So as always, feel free to leave me a comment down below. You can like, subscribe if you enjoyed. I post videos every single Sunday. I have an Instagram linked below. If you want to just check out the screenshots, you're more than free to do so. I will see you guys next Sunday when I post my next video. Even though I am out of town, there will still be one. And in the meantime, I hope you have a lovely day and a lovely rest of your week. Bye, guys.
When winter comes, I'll see you again. We'll be out till late under the starshine. I wish that I didn't have to wait. Autumn leaves, please hurry before I start to worry and his face gets blurry. My love, I send you kisses. My heart belongs to no one but you. It won't still lingers as I close my eyes. Oh, I've tried to set aside all this longing, but it won't hide. I dream about you every night. Winter cold, please hurry. Bring him home before I worry, and his face gets too blurry.